Thank you. Okay. Yeah, why not? I don't remember the second part. Okay. Now, can't believe I'm something good I'm having something in years and years.
What's the source of that?
Shlomo, I don't remember. Page 211. Chibur im ha'olam. Being connected with the world. So, ka'et nitkadem ot psiya. Now we're going to take another step forward. Chaverim, כשאני מחובר עם שמיים בארץ, you should know that when I'm connected with heaven and earth, אני מחובר גם עם כל העולם. I'm also connected with the whole world. אני ממש מחובר עם כל העולם. I'm truly connected with the whole world. אני רוצה שתדעו משהו לא יאומן. I want you to know something unbelievable. הבעל שם טוב הקדוש היה יוצא בכל ליל שבת לקבל פני שבת קודש. The Holy Baal Shem Tov would go out every Friday night to receive the Holy Shabbos. וראיתי בספר, I saw in a sefer שבמז'בוש, which is where he was living at the time, בליל שבת קודש, כל הפרות והסוסים נעלמו. Somebody's there? נכון? וראיתי בספר שכל הפרות והסוסים נעלמו. And I saw in a sefer that page 211. I saw in a sefer that when the Baal Shem Tov, that Friday, that all the horses and the cows will be disappearing. Madua. Ki כשהבעל שם טוב, page 211, you have it there. כי כשהבעל שם טוב יצא לקבל פני שבת קודש, because when the Baal Shem Tov went out to receive Shabbos, כל הפרות וכל הסוסים באו איתו גם כן. All the cows and the horses in town would follow him also. אי אפשר, what's the point? אי אפשר לשער עד כמה הוא היה מחובר עם הנקודה העליונה. We can't in any way evaluate to what extent he was connected with the supernal point. עד כדי כך, he was so connected, שגם החיות היו צריכות ללכת איתו. That even the animals would follow him to receive Shabbos. הוא היה מחובר תמיד עם הלמעלה. He was always connected above. אבל בשבת קודש זה היה כמו אחרי שהמשיח הגיע. But on Shabbos, it was even like after Mashiach already came. ביום ההוא יהיה השם אחד ושמו אחד, and that day God will be one and his name will be one. That means to say there will be complete unity between heaven and earth. כל כך עמוק, גם יותר עמוק מהלמעלה והלמטה. It's so deep, even deeper than the above and the connecting above and connecting below. In other words, total unity. We were talking all this time about being connected above and being connected below. But then when Mashiach comes, it's going to be even more than that. There won't be any distinction between above and below. כשמשיח בא, כשבית המקדש השלישי יורד מן השמיים, המשיח will come, and the third Beit HaMikdash will come down from heaven. So it says in the prophets, כי ביתי בית תפילה יקרא לכל העמים, my house will be a house of prayer, will be declared, will be considered a house of prayer by all people. כל העולם יבוא לירושלים להתפלל. The whole world will come to Yerushalayim to pray. So this is an important point that we've learned again and again and again throughout the years. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you could be connected with God without being connected with the people. It doesn't go. It's not two separate things. It doesn't go separately. If you're connected Lamala, if you're connected with God, then you must be connected below. And if you're not, then your connection with God is not the real thing. So, and then he's also telling you an interesting thing, and we know this from many different sources. If you're really connected above, then the animals sense it also. What did we read in the Chumash just a few weeks ago in Parshat Bilam? The animals can sense the connection even when you don't, even if you don't sometimes, right? But I was reading a story that was in one of the Kol Chevra journals. I think I remember the name of the person who wrote it, but she writes that they had a couple of dogs in their house, and whenever a guest would come, they had to put the dogs in another room because they didn't like guests. No. I remember I used to give private lessons to one of my students back in Montreal, and they had this big dog. It was hard to tell if it was a dog or if it was a horse. It was so big, you know. And they called it Brutus. And I'm telling you, every time I would come into the house, it was a nice family, but they all had such a good time watching me get scared to death from that dog. Brutus would come down, give a bark, and like Mamish, I knew what it means to have fear of God. You know, like it was like whoa. And they and their kids would like just laugh, like look at. And I was their principal, you know. And like look at you were scared of you all day long, and look at what happens when you meet my dog, you know. In any case, so it happened that Reb Shlomo arrived at these people's home, and she opened the door, and she didn't realize that they hadn't put the dogs into another room, you know. And I think there were two of them, and the dogs came up to Reb Shlomo like friendly, like they were amazed. The owners were amazed. They never saw their dogs be like that with a stranger. And she writes that obviously Shlomo was so connected that the dogs wanted to be near him, and they stayed near him. They sat at his feet the entire night when he was teaching, which was like so highly unusual, right? And I'm just illustrating what he's saying over here is that when you're really connected above, then it's sensed in the world. It's like the bells of Rebbe, the holy bells of Rebbe, when he'd be walking in the streets and bells, even the Gentiles would stop whatever they were doing, and they would just keep looking at him until he was out of sight, you know. So that's the way it should be, and that's the way we can be. Now,
There he is.
yeah, good. Does he have a note? Ay, 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 you brought a note?
It's like you remember the first year I was here. So the students I was with came late to the first year. So the Rebbe said, he come late, I'll bring you.
Yeah.
So I packed it up and said, well, I'll go to Haradatium and I'll bring back a stone.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on page 211 at the bottom. Chavirim, mazot tefillah. What is prayer? Yeah. תפילה פירושה שאני רוצה שוב להיות קשור עם הלמעלה. Prayer is about being connected. I want to be connected again with the above. Tefillah, the word tefillah, perusha, its meaning, kayadua, as is known, lo bakasha, prayer, tefillah, more precisely, is not requesting, right? Most people think that, pray to God means ask God to give you what you want, right? And that's an aspect of prayer, for sure. But the word tefillah itself does not mean bakasha, but rather, ki im mamash ribono shel olam, master of the world, ani rotze liyot mechubar elecha. I want to be connected with you, right? The word tefillah is related to which name? To Naphtali. Naphtali Elokim, Niftalti. When she gave birth to Naphtali, she said that, now I'm really partners with my husband. Now the word tefillah is, it has more meanings as well. But the point that Reb Shlomo is really getting out of here is all about connection, right? The whole time, all these lessons that we've been talking about Tisha B'Av, it's all about connection, right? What are we crying about on Tisha B'Av? Not about the particular sins that I may have done, but rather, how could I have done it? What's with my connection with Hashem? חברים יקרים, למדנו 1,000 פעמים. We've learned it 1,000 times. שאם באמת מתפלל להשם, I'm sorry, שאדם שבאמת מתפלל להשם, a person who's truly praying to God, כל מילה שיוצאת מפיו היא תפילה בפני עצמה. So then every word that's coming out of his mouth, every single word is a prayer unto itself. You understand that? In other words, he's saying that prayer is about connecting with Hashem. So if you're really praying, so then every word you're connecting with Hashem.
Maybe before you even enunciate a word, maybe just you're opening your mouth, you're praying to Hashem. Even if you open your mouth inside yourself without a sound coming out. It's the act of turning to Hashem. That's already the beginning of prayer.
Yeah, that's correct.
If tefillah is prayer is connection, why is it called tefillah? Why is it called, for example, Shua, something like that? Why is it called?
Because the word means more than just connecting. Okay, but where do you learn the mitzvah of connecting with of prayer? Where from which verse in the Torah do you learn that it's a mitzvah to daven?
Nothing by heart, on your soul, on your
Correct. V'avdo b'chol levavchem v'chol nafshechem. Serve God with all your heart. Right? So the Gemara says, Eizohi avodah shebalev. What kind of work do you do with your heart? The Gemara answers, Havayameir zot tefillah. So it must be with prayer. Prayer is the service of the heart. Right? So, the Gemara says, Atida Eretz Yisrael shetitpashet al kol ha'aratzot. In the future, Eretz Yisrael is going to spread across the entire world. Kishemashiach yavo, Eretz Yisrael titpashet al kol ha'olam. When Mashiach comes, Eretz Yisrael is going to spread out over the world. בוודאי אין פירושו שלא תהיה ארץ ישראל. For sure, it doesn't mean that there won't be an Israel, אלא שתהיה ארץ ישראל, תהיה סיוון, תהיה סין, אבל כל העולם יהיה מחובר עם ארץ ישראל, כל העולם יהיה מאוחד עם ארץ ישראל. So when he says that Eretz Israel is going to spread across the world, there still will be China, there still will be Japan and so on, right? What does it mean? It means that the whole world will be connected with Eretz Israel. The whole world will be united with Eretz Israel. אני רוצה שתדעו, אמרתי לנו, חברים, אם אתם קשורים לתורה, if you're connected with the Torah, אתם קשורים לשמיים. In the kitchen, when you're standing by this thing, there's a bottle of lozenges there, the right side.
What?
That's for the throat. A brown bottle. You know, I took, I had a 10-day extra heavy dose of antibiotics, which I finished finally on Shabbos. But it was usually, thank God, I rarely have to take antibiotics. And usually when I do have to take, the dosage I get is 500 milligrams. Can we put the table away so I can see this guy? You know, pull it closer to you over here at this edge. Okay, no. I usually take 3 times a day, 500 milligrams. This time he gave me 10 days of 3 times a day, 1,000 milligrams. And so what happens is it knocks out the immune system too. And so I picked up a bad cold, but I'm Baruch Hashem getting over it. You understand? But that's why I'm coughing so much. Okay. So, אם אתם קשורים לתורה, אם אתם קשורים לשמיים, if you're really connected with the Torah, if you're connected with heaven, ממילא אתם קשורים לכל יהודי בעולם. Then consequently, you're automatically connected with every Jew in the world. ואתם קשורים לעולם כולו, and you're connected with the whole world. כמו שנאמר, as it says, כי ביתי בית תפילה יקרא לכל העמים. My house is a house of prayer for all people. אין לכם ברירה. You have no choice. אתם קשורים עם הכל. You're connected with everything.
I mean, also non-Jews.
So, but not in the same degree. So, what if you see people who are learning Torah and they're not connected with you? It means there's something missing in the way they're learning. Right? Being a big scholar is not what it's all about. Yes, it's very important to be a big scholar, but your mama's got to be connected. Connected to the Torah. So if you're really connected to the Torah, because what does it say about the Torah? The Torah is basically Hashem. The Torah is called, in the Zohar, they quote a verse from the Navi, where he says, Mishal HaKadmoni. The Torah is the parable of the primal being of the universe. In other words, Hashem. The Torah is, what's that say for you? Yeah. The Torah is known as Mishal HaKadmoni, the parable of the primal being. In other words, the whole Torah is a parable about Hashem. Yeah, HaKadmoni, the first and only being before he created the world. Okay? Now, what does that mean? So you remember the Gemara says, on the first word of the Ten Commandments, Anochi, right? The Gemara says that Anochi is an acronym, Rashi Tevot, for Ana Nafshit Ktavit Yahavit, right? I, my soul, my essence, in writing, am giving to you. So Hashem is giving himself to us, how? In the Torah. So when we're learning Torah, we got to know that it's Hashem is present in the Torah. Now, so you read a verse in the Torah that talks about an ox that gored another animal. How much does he have to pay? So how is Hashem present in that? You know, okay. So it's a question. Now, what does it say about Shlomo HaMelech in describing his brilliance? Anybody know? How does the Navi describe how brilliant Shlomo HaMelech was?
He understood the language of all the animals.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's one thing, but that's true. But it says that, huh?
Why is this the moment?
Yeah, but in what way do we understand that? So it says that Shlomo HaMelech was able to give 3,000 parables, 3,000 Mishalim on everything in the Torah, and each parable was a step up to the previous parable. In other words, if you ever want to see just how smart you are, never mind asking yourself, what's the capital of Norway or Sweden or something like that, or what year was it that, that they first invented Cholent. Michal, what year was it?
1764.
Right! Give him a bingo prize. Okay. And you get an extra piece of kishka. So they try taking anything in the Torah and see how many parables can you make up to explain whatever verse you chose. And see if you can build the parables one on top of each other. I wonder if how many people can actually come up with 5. It's a really high level of intelligence. Okay, so Shlomo HaMelech was giving 3,000 parables on each part of the Torah. Now, when you read in the Torah the laws about my animal, your animal, whatever, they got into a fight, one gored the other, and then how much do you have to pay? This Torah exists in heaven also. The Torah comes from heaven, right? So what do you think? You think that up there in Shemayim there's an ox chasing a cow? Obviously not, right? So how does this mitzvah of an ox chasing a cow, how does it exist up in Shemayim? So compared to what's happening in heaven, this is a metaphor. And that's why you need the parables to understand. And what are all the parables all about? What's the whole Torah about? It's a parable about Hashem. Meaning to say that Hashem came down level after level after level, and so to speak, dressed himself in a very worldly manner, okay, so that we can relate with Hashem on our level that we're living at. Because if Hashem wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't be able to do it at all. So I think I've told you already in the past. Why do we say that it's not enough to, you can't just meditate on a mitzvah. You have to do it. Tell you once about this Yid who said to me, he used to be a religious Jew, he says to me, Shalom, I meditate on putting on tefillin, and I'm sure that I bet you I go higher than you do with your actual putting it on. And I said to him, I'm not going to argue with you about that. There's no argument. I accept that you go very high in your meditations and higher than me putting them on. But the fact of the matter is that the mitzvah is to put them on. Now, imagine you're reading the best cookbook in the world and you're meditating on the recipe. Huh? And yeah, but you don't eat, so you starve, you understand? But in the meantime, the meditation is beautiful. You just imagine, well, cayenne pepper with turmeric. Oh my gosh, it's so unbelievable, right? With banana sauce, man. Okay. So Hashem is giving us Himself in a way that we can, practically speaking, know I'm doing something that Hashem wants. Reb Shlomo gives another example. He says, Chaim Baruch comes home, his dog is there waiting for him, and Chaim Baruch says to his dog, would you please meditate on what I want you to do? And the dog is like, what? What do you want? Right? But if you tell the dog, Shmerel, go get my slippers. Ah, he's so happy. He goes and gets the slippers. He's wagging his tail. He can do something. You understand? If Hashem would tell us, meditate on what I want, most of us would be like totally lost, right? But Hashem says, do this and this. Don't do this and that. Then I know what you're talking about. I know, you understand, it's a very practical thing. I can now do this mitzvah, and I know that I'm doing something that Hashem wants me to do. Okay? Now, what's the point of all of this? The point of all of this is to understand that when we're learning Torah, we're actually receiving God's intelligence and bringing it into our own little brains. Okay? It's actually becoming a part of my intelligence now. Understand? Now, Hashem is connected to everybody. So if I'm really connected with the Torah, that means I'm really connected with Hashem. And if I'm really connected with Hashem, I'm connected with every Yid, and I'm connected with the whole world. Right? If, on the other hand, I'm learning Torah and I'm walking home from the yeshiva and I'm looking with disdain at the guys who are sitting at the coffee shops, thinking, haha, look at them, they're just sitting there, drinking coffee all day and talking about politics. I'm coming from the yeshiva and I learn Torah and this and that and so on and so on. So then, yeah, maybe I learned Torah, but not on the level that I'm supposed to. You see, even when you're learning Torah, Reb Nachman says you better stop every 15 minutes to remind yourself that you're learning Hashem's Torah. Because otherwise, especially Gemara Rashi Tosfos, you're so busy using your mind that you begin to think of wow, look at what I understand, look at what I know, look at what I know, look at what I understand, right? And you forget that it's Hashem's Torah, and you forget that it's all about the relationship. So he says that Tisha B'Av Zeu Mamash HaTikun HaGadol. Tisha B'Av is the big tikkun about feeling connected and getting together. ואני רוצה לומר לכם עוד משהו, and I want to tell you another thing. למה קשה כל כך להתחתן? Why is it so difficult for people to get married? פעם למדנו יחד בניו יורק, once we were learning together in New York, ופתאום איש ואישה צעירים נכנסו, and this couple came in, והיא אמרה, and she said, מאוד קשה לי להתחתן. It's very hard for me to marry you, she says to the guy, מכיוון שאני מפחידה את עצמי מכל האנשים בעולם, because if I get married to you, I have to have an exclusive relationship with you, and I can't be with any other men. אם אתחתן, זה יהיה רק אני ובעלי. If I get married, it's going to be just me and my husband. I'm going to be just with my husband, right? זה לא בשבילי, it's not for me, right? This is David. It's going back to the 60s and the 70s, right? The free love and the free relationships, right? And this couple came in, and the woman says to Shlomo, she says, I can't get married because I can't limit myself to one person. I love everybody.
But aren't we talking about frum people? Would frum people think that way?
I don't know what frum people think. We're talking about this couple who came in. From people think all kinds of things. I told you once that Rabbi Gringlas used to say that Frum is a Rosh Tevis. Fil Rishis Venig Mitzvahs. Okay? Which means full of evil and not too many mitzvahs.
Into this dangerous time.
It's in other words, Frum doesn't. It's one of those things that you can just fool yourself and think, it's outside stuff, and think that, oh wow, I'm so holy, like I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. Don't be so sure that you're such a tzaddik. Okay.
It's a dangerous time that
Yes.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Especially for the children.
Yeah.
More than just for laughter.
And yeah, and now it's also.
Now it's accepted.
Now there's a new religion called PC, politically correct. Never. Huh? So,
Too many bad experiences.
yeah, it's crazy. Noach was at Kent State University, and it was. But you tell me that for the Halloween party, if you dressed up as a Native American, it was like no, right? That wasn't politically correct. But if you stood there and you spewed hatred against Israel, that was okay. It was even expected, right? So she says to Shlomo, I can't get married. I can't limit myself. So Shlomo says this, Ma pirush, what does that mean? It means that she's not really connected with the guy she wants to marry. Because when if I'm connected to a woman that I really love, and through my relationship with her, I will love the world even more. Understand? It's not that getting married is limiting you in any way. On the contrary, if you're marrying the person that you really love, you will feel even more connected to the whole world. And this is what he was saying just a minute ago. He was saying that when you're learning Torah, if you're really connected to the Torah, then you're really connected to Hashem. You're really connected to Hashem. You're really connected to every one of your brothers and sisters. Okay? So, right? So I'm reading that line again. Their problem is that they're not really connected. Because when I'm really connected to a woman that I love, then what happens is so through her, I end up loving the world even more.
I think you can add, if you're really connected to the woman that you love, you're really connected to Hashem.
Well, no, I wasn't going to add that, but the emphasis is a little bit different. Okay, the thing about being connected to a woman is being used as a parable over here. Okay, if you're really connected to the woman that you love, then it's true, it's an exclusive relationship, but you still have even more love for the whole world now, because now you're really in touch with your soulmate and you're experiencing that love, and therefore you can now much more easily love the whole world. Okay? This is the parable from what was said before. If you're really connected with the Torah, then you're really connected with the whole world. Right?
And you can really connect to the world.
without the Torah, you can't really connect.
You mean as a Jew? You mean?
Yeah.
You mean you're talking about like sneers and things like that? What are you talking
No, I'm talking about if I don't have the Torah, I can not really connect to other people. Not just if I.
Right. Okay. Sorry, guys, for half flaking out over here. Harav Kook Omer, bottom of 212. Rav Kook says, if you want to love the whole world, there's only one way to achieve that, and that is the Hovat Torah. Then you better be in love with the Torah. V'le'ahov Yehudim, and to love your fellow Jews. V'le'ahov et Yerushalayim, and to love Yerushalayim. So you have to love every Jew, you have to love Yerushalayim, and through your brothers and sisters, and through the love for Yerushalayim, then v'dakam le'ahov et kol ha'olam, and through them you will also learn to love the whole world. Okay.
This is a very important teaching, right? Because the people that talk in favor of universalism, as if that's opposed to particularism.
Right.
And the way to really love everyone is first of all to love yourself and your own. And through that, because we're part of everyone. We're part of all God's
But you have to be,
part of all God's children.
Right, but to have that consciousness means that you're connected above. These are very important lessons, especially this time of year, right? I'll turn this on for a minute. Okay. Let's read a bit more, page 213. האם אומר לילדים שלי, am I ever going to tell my children, אני מצטער, אני לא יכול לאהוב אתכם, I'm sorry, forgive me, I can't love you, כי אני קשור לכל הילדים בעולם, I can't really love you because I love all the children in the world, right? It's ridiculous. אני יודע, people who do that, yeah. אני יודע, sorry, שיש אנשים שאינם דואגים לילדים שלהם. There are people who don't worry about their children. כי הם כל כך קשורים לכל הילדים. They don't care so much about their own children because they're just so connected to all children. Right? אם מישהו אומר, if somebody says, אני חושב שמאוד קשה להתחתן, if somebody says, I want to get, excuse me, sorry. אני חושב שמאוד קשה להתחתן, if somebody says, I think it's very difficult to get married, כי אני לא רוצה לאבד את קשר עם כל האנשים בעולם, because I don't want to give up on my girlfriends. פתאום אני מצמצם את עצמי לאישה אחת, and now you want me to get married to just one woman? Mr. Reb Shlomo says, מי שאומר כך, anybody who talks that way, סימן שהוא לא יכול, סימן שהוא, stop now, סימן שהוא לא מחובר באמת לאישה שלו. That means it's a sign that he's not really connected with his wife. Right? If you're really connected with the Torah, if you're really connected with your wife and so on, then through them you love the whole world. Okay, Chavrid, the sleep apnea is like hitting me so strongly now. I can. So you can call tomorrow to find out if there's a class. Okay. I hope that there will be. Sorry about this.